Hi guys. Hey. Hey. Hello. Hi. Hi. You're gonna be like, oh, this video's about feet. Ha, finally. Like, it's not, but, you know, it's not. I don't know if everyone's, I'm Celeste by the way, but I don't know if everyone's human experience is kind of going this way, but it's kind of going a certain way. It's going a certain way. Yeah. I just went live and I was like watching back the live video, and there's so many like weird things that I see myself doing, and I'm like, it's like my soul, like watching back the video, it's like my soul is like literally like screaming at me, but it's like, and it'll be like oh, why do you respond in a polite way when you actually hate the person who's talking? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And, but it's like at the same time I kind of have to respect, oh, that's what I did in the past, even though it was 5 minutes ago. It's still the past. I can't go back and change it. I can't go back and change it. And I feel like caught in this weird phase of my life where I do think that like I still act nice in ways that I'm not actually nice. I feel stuck there and caught there, and I feel like there's nothing I can really do about that at the moment, but it's like I know the real me, but when I think I'm being too harsh, it's because my brain, what I said was meant in like a way worse way than what the way people are obviously taking it. So I feel like watching it back, it's like, so I didn't genuinely answer with how I actually felt about anything. But also, I responded to the comments that showed up, and like the comments that showed up just made me feel the way that I felt, and then I filtered that through the patterns that I have and decided to respond to this specific way. And it's like, so all the time, I'll sort of like watch myself and I'll be like, oh, why did I not ignore that person? Or because I would have felt like I respected myself if I had ignored that person more, you know? Just like, oh, that maybe that's not the comment that I wanted to respond to. Or, and it's like, maybe I didn't know that till afterwards. And then like, oh, why was I so nice to that person who was obviously not being, you know, how I would have seen them as like respectful. Like obviously whatever they were saying was terrible, and like I never would have said that. And then I'm like, oh, so it makes me look this way and that way. Like it makes me look like I'm weak and trying to be nice to people who are terrible, and like it makes me look like that because I already think I'm, it's like I knew my intention was like to actually just be mean to them. So then I was like, oh, well, they can probably already sense that. Like, that's probably already coming across. So maybe I'm gonna filter that a tiny bit so that I'm not actually like a terrible person. But then I'm like, oh, so the real me, if I had access to the person that I actually am, the real me would have just leaned into actually being a terrible person intentionally in that moment, or what I would have thought now would be like being terrible, right? Because it's like, oh, maybe that's actually standing up for, not even just standing up for myself, because that sounds so weak. Like, even those words sound weak to me, because they already imply the idea that, like, somebody didn't, like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, you don't, I feel like you can't stand up for something if you didn't already allow somebody to treat you a certain way. Like, even those words just feel so weak and terrible. And terrible. Honestly, being a person with my life just makes me feel weak and terrible, because I feel like when I look back on my whole life, I'm like, where'd my other hair tie go? I swear I had 2. Like, I always have 2. It's not on my other wrist. But I look back on it's fine. I hate every part of the person that I currently am because all I see is like weak and terrible. That's the only thing I see. But then I look back at, you know, my childhood, and it's kind of like, you don't get to choose the treatment that you have to accept, and you don't get to choose the treatment that you have to be kind in response to. You know, so you don't get to choose the patterns of, oh, should I say that? Should I not say that? Like, you're always around the same people your whole life growing up. Obviously, if you're like consistently, you know, for me, obviously around the same people in the same area, like, you don't get to choose the treatment that you have to not only accept, but you don't get to choose the treatment that you have to respond super nicely to and like cater to, really. Like, you don't get to choose when you're terrible and when you're amazing. Like, you don't get to choose that because you have to be able to like cope with your current reality and stuff. So, you don't get to choose if as an adult you think that you're like mean and a terrible person if you speak honestly about your life as you were younger, because you don't get to choose all of the times that you were told you were like lying or making something up even though you were stating exactly what just happened. So because of that, it's like I feel like I don't even know the real me, because it's like I look back on a video of myself talking about something and I'm like, oh, so I hate the person that I'm looking at because I know that it's like what I think now is like a fake version of me, but I can't fix that because that's who I currently am, and the version that I think I am in my mind is not the version that I think I am when I'm looking back at it. So yeah, which makes it harder because then I not only have to cope with the past, but I have to also, I'm like, I want to be an intellectual human being and like care about becoming a better version, a better person, and not, you know, not that version of better, but the version of better that I actually want to be, what I would think is better, not what somebody else would think is better, you know? So it's like, okay, I don't get to choose who I currently am at all. I have the amazing opportunity of being a human right now, which just means finding some way to cope with the version of me that I currently am. And then looking at the past and being like, so that's what made me this way. I obviously wasn't that way before this, and that, but I have to like force myself to find some way to cope with it. And hopefully the more that I'm exposed to this version of me, the more I can like recognize that that's not even me, even though it's me speaking. Like, hopefully I can, more exposure to myself, not less exposure to myself, will force me to like know which version is me and like how I can grow past this. But the way that I want to be perceived, the way that I want to perceive myself, it's probably never going to be there realistically. But I have the opportunity of being a human, which is this excruciating experience where every moment I have to like slowly work towards being whatever the current me is in my mind, and then like undoing all of the things I didn't get to choose, and then like, I don't know, also just going to my regular job where I have to show up the same way every day, you know? So how much variety can there really be in my life and then remain exactly the same so nobody can tell that I'm different, even though the entire point is I hate the current version of me, so people have to be able to tell that I'm different. But it's also, the people watching are not so intelligent that they know the difference. Even if they see the difference, they would just be making up a different, like something different about a different version of me. But it's like, I am this way because perhaps my soul is looking for a certain type of feedback, but it's like I wouldn't receive that if it had been the ideal version of me that we're speaking. But it's like, I just don't know how I can ever integrate all of like the weakness that I see myself have. and then just like, you know, actually be who I want to be. I don't know if that exists. So I don't know if the potential for that is there. You know, and then I'm like, oh, like what made me that way? What made me that way? I mean, right now, I would think that if I brought up my mom or that household, it would automatically make me a terrible person. If I were honest about my experience, I think that being honest would automatically make me a terrible person. Because that was what I was fed my entire life and forced to accept the statements of my entire life, because it was like, you're a terrible person and you're gonna be like grounded if you don't accept that you're a terrible person. You know what I mean? It was kind of giving like, you have to believe that you're a terrible person and fully submit to that, or you're never going to like deserve whatever it is that you think you actually like deserve as a person. Either way, you're not going to, but your life might be like 1% better if you just accept that you should hate yourself. Like, if you don't fully accept that you should hate yourself, in my opinion, as an expert based on nothing, like, then, you know. So, yeah, you don't need examples, but it's not about that. It's not about the examples or whatever. I don't care. I don't care to remember the examples. They don't matter. So, but not getting to choose, like, who I currently am, because a past version of me was bullied for being normal, and then bullied for being unhappy about the fact that I was bullied for being normal. You know what I mean? Like, being like, okay, so, let's see, instead of dying, I actually have so many other options. They're just all excruciating. But that's still what I'm gonna choose. It's just terrible. But, you know. That's like still how I feel now. But I'm like, honestly, I'm glad that I have the opportunity in this human experience to like undo what's already like been done that I didn't have a choice about, and already knew in the moment the long-term implications, but nobody else did. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it's like, maybe somehow everybody was doing their best, and I can accept that and still know that I wouldn't have treated myself that way. But yeah. But I don't know, I think people are what they want you to become, and if they don't know what they are, they don't know what they want you to become. So then you're never gonna be it, because they don't even know what they want you to be. But I know where it came from, that I see so much weakness, and it's not because I was weak at the start of my life. I know that it's because it's because I was not born weak. But if I wanted to literally survive, I had to become as weak as possible, and then let that still be what I was hated for all the time. But it's like, if you're a child somewhere in the world, you require certain things to survive, and when those certain things come from somewhere, the place where it comes from decides how weak of a person you are, because whatever made-up conditions somebody out there decides, like, you have to only survive based on, right? Like, you have to just accept whatever your life is. You don't actually have a choice. So it can make you a very weak person. Yeah, it just does. Like, it just can. If you're in an environment that only takes away from you and never, like, grows you. And you know that at the time. But then, as you get older and older and older, you're convinced that even though you were correct, you actually didn't know. Even though you were correct, you actually didn't know. Even though you were correct, you actually didn't know. Even though you are accurate right now, you're already correct about this, you actually don't know anything. You just have to accept that. And then it makes you so weak because you believe that that correction can come from anywhere. Because it always came from a place that didn't make any sense. So now, the pattern is, oh, so it actually can come from anywhere. It can come from anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. Like, it must be correct, because me being correct never mattered enough for me to be correct. Like, me being correct never mattered enough for me to be correct, so it always, you know, somebody being incorrect always mattered so much that they were correct about everything and anything. So, that being the case, you do just accept it, because you have, like, surviving is more important than being strong. So, people think it takes strength to survive things in your life. It doesn't. It kind of, I guess. Enough strength, I guess, but, like, it doesn't make you stronger, really. You have to, like, other people choose for you how strong or how weak you are for as long as you rely on something from somewhere. And that's also the same situation with jobs in society. You only get to be as strong in your environment as your manager, who decides if you have a job or not, decides that you're going to be strong or weak in your environment. Because if they could try to, like, take something away from you that you actually need, based on you being a strong person, then you're going to be weak forever, for the rest of your life. So capitalism is controlling the level of weakness that you actively have, when the only point of life is trying to fix that about yourself and become a stronger person. But you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. So that's one of the reasons why I hate the whole, like, having a minimum wage job thing. Like, obviously it's a requirement to have a good life, to have some kind of job. But I hate the fact that it's like you can't ever save up enough money to then, if you wanted to switch jobs, or if you had to, like, feeling like you could do that. Like, technically, I guess you could really, really, like, have a miserable life just to save every dollar that you have. Like, you could do that. But it's like, because of having, like, people having a limited income, somebody is controlling, like, the level of strength that you get to have as a person, like, the level of, like, oh, I get to defend this part of myself, I get to, like, care, I get to, you know, maybe if I have some money in a savings account, I get to care whether or not I've been working for, like, a few hours completely for free, because in order to have a job, sometimes I'm not even getting paid to have a job, like, but, like, what if I just quit right now? Is it gonna be hard to find another job? Like, so, making more than minimum wage is, like, a requirement to never experience slavery in your life. But, oh, if you complain about that, you're just, like, privileged and weird, because you are the only person here who cares if you're currently experiencing slavery, and, like, that's so weird. Like, that's so weird. Why do you care about that? Like, nobody else here cares. Like you're so annoying and privileged that you care whether you're getting paid for the work that you're doing. Nobody else here cares. You know, it's like that. And it's like, well, I guess, like, good luck finding another job. It's not like you're gonna find another one, you know? Like, it's actually so terrible. But whoever has power over you, still, as an adult in your life, decides how strong you get to be, how weak you get to be, how much you really get to leave a situation, even if it's not good. You don't get to leave just because it's not good. You get to leave if all of your other conditions are also taken care of and it's not good. So. Like, it's a miserable conversation, but it's true. So, I do think that human life makes you humble, but not really in a useful way. Not that it's not good to be a human. I mean, we all have this opportunity for some reason. We're all here to make the most of it, but everything is poisoned. And I'm not talking about food, but that part was obvious too. So, yeah, I think a lot of it is undoing what you thought you would have already had a right to have in your life. Seeing how you overcome this disappointment and the next one, and you have the privilege of having many more disappointments. And it sounds depressing. And it probably is. But I don't feel depressed about it, just I wish that the parts that are, like, excruciating just to have no reward at the end. I wish those parts would change a bit because it's getting annoying. It's been annoying for a very long time, but I've been able to like make it less annoying for myself, which just creates more weakness, because then it's like, oh, so what? I'm willing to also not stand up for this part of myself because it would be weird if I did. Like, I'm willing to do that. So what do you mean? All of the times that like I thought that I like should have cared more, like I was actually just wrong about that and it was the other way around, but I'm supposed to still care about like one or two things. Like, none of it makes sense. So, yeah. I don't know if it's about getting stronger or weaker, but we're all here. So, we're all here for whatever that is for now. Anyway, bye guys. Have a great day. After what I just said, have a great day. I don't know.